Hello and welcome to this channel in 2021. I was going to do this video yesterday being the 1st of January, but considering New Year's and everything, and I had quite a lot to drink, I was really badly hungover yesterday, so I just couldn't make a video, let alone do anything else that I wanted to do. So that day was a bit of a write-off. Along with really most of 2020, due to obvious reasons, 2020 was just one of the worst years in history, quoted by quite a few different articles and newspapers, etc. Despite 2020 being so bad, there were some really good moments in 2020, and I'm sure all of you have had some good moments as well, buried in with all of the bad stuff that happened in 2020. This video is going to be more dedicated towards just places I would like to travel to in 2021. Hopefully, if travel is open back how it was in early 2020 and previous years. Obviously, as long as COVID is no longer like an issue and restricting travel, and we can all go to countries how we used to be able to, then this video is basically where I would like to go this year, and obviously vlog my adventure if that was the case. Last year I was quite lucky to go to quite a few different places actually. So last year we went to Alicante, which is down here. Then we went over to Madrid for the next episode. Then we went over to Milan, just there. After Milan, I think it was Odense over here, or maybe it was Oslo. I think it was Oslo. Then we went to Odense, and then after that, I'm pretty sure we went over to Riga, Vilnius, and then we did the Poland trip. I'm pretty sure that's roughly how it went. Like from what I can remember. I was meant to go to Croatia last year instead of Poland. So Croatia would be a really nice place that I would like to go hopefully this year. My original plan when I went to Croatia was actually to land over here in Pula, and then just similar to what I did in Poland, spend a day in each city. So I was going to spend a day here in Pula. I actually, when I was doing some research, found out they had a Colosseum. I'm not sure exactly where, but they have a Colosseum in Pula. I'm not sure exactly where. And that would have been a really interesting place to visit. I have been to the Colosseum in Rome, which is I think the main one, or at least one that everyone raves about. But there is actually various other Colosseums around different places. And I just thought that would have been a cool place to go, and Pula as well. Then I wasn't quite sure where I was going to go. I mean, this national park over here was a place maybe I was going to go. It looks really nice. You can just see from the picture if we click it. Yeah, it looks pretty nice just from there. But then I was going to go roughly Pula over here to Zagreb, spend a day in Zagreb, do some stuff, just see what's about. Then there was a few nature parks in between. Off the top of my head, I can't remember where exactly, but there was like a nature park here, one over here. So I think this might have been one of them. Yeah, again, you can see how beautiful this looks. It looks very tropical to me anyway. And I was very excited about visiting this place. And then from there, I think the trip was just going to go, I can't remember even exactly where it was going to go now. It was going to go, I think, to Zadar and then down to Split. There was also some little islands off of here I wanted to go to. Just here, Blue Cave. Looks really awesome. I thought it was going to be a really cool way to finish the trip. Doesn't look like great on this picture there. But essentially, Blue Cave is this place where, it's just naturally illuminated in blue. There we go. You can sort of get the idea here. And it just looks really cool from the pictures. I wanted to go there and just experience it. You can see, that looks just like a really nice area. Another Blue Cave image. It just looked really cool, and it was going to be something I was going to do while I would have been in Croatia. But again, coronavirus really said no to it. So I couldn't go. I couldn't go to Croatia. So that's a place I would love to go this year and do a similar trip to that. If possible. It would mean me going for a week or maybe even more, because that's what I set it out to be, a week-long road trip or something. But instead, I couldn't go there, so then I really quickly changed it to Poland, which is why everything in Poland was a little bit last minute. Couldn't do a lot of research into Krakow or Wrocław or Łódź, Warsaw, Lublin, and then in between we actually went to some other places, Bełchatów being one of them. So yeah, the first place, Croatia, I would like to go. None of these are booked or anything, obviously. We gotta imagine as if coronavirus is just not a thing anymore. Next place I would like to go is actually Berlin. I've already been to Berlin a few times, and I would like to go back to Berlin. It's a really nice city. It's one of my favourite cities I've ever actually been to. Um, just because the German people are like really nice and hospitable, and I like the feel of Berlin. It feels a little bit like America, but obviously in the German-speaking world. Yeah, it's got a lot of history to it as well. I really like the whole like World War Two like thing as well. Like it's got a lot of history around that. Obviously, it's got the Brandenburg. It's got the there's various other things to see for a tourist. There's quite a lot to see, and I think I've seen most of it. I've been to Checkpoint Charlie. I've seen the Brandenburg Gate. I've been up the tower at Alexanderplatz, which is this place here, Berliner Feststein or Fernseturm, however it's said. I've ridden the S-Bahn and U-Bahn all around this place. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's just a really nice city, really well priced as well. I think with traveling and stuff like that on the metros essentially, rather than S-Bahn, U-Bahn, they are essentially just metros. Fairly priced. I like the fact that you can just have a drink in your hand while you're walking down the street. It's quite free. Like there's not really anything against that. They've also got a really nice big zoo, and from what I can remember, the zoo is like one of the biggest in Europe or maybe in the world or something like that. It's a huge zoo. I went to the zoo, I think, just once, but we were there for like 5 hours, and yeah, we still didn't quite get to see all of it. It's just a huge place. All of this over here, this smaller area is the zoo, from what I can remember. I don't think it's this whole area here. I don't remember roads going through the zoo. But yeah, I mean, the zoo is huge. It might not look that big on the map, but I mean, it took us forever to look around and see all the different animals and all the feeding times, etc. And I've just seen that there's a Michael Jackson Baum Berlin, like a memorial or something. Yeah, that's weird. When I was in Munich, there was a Michael Jackson thing there as well. Like, for some reason, Michael Jackson is quite popular in Germany. So, in essence, Berlin would be the next place I would like to go in 2021. Again, it's just a really nice place, and I mean, if you're ever there, then I would recommend going over here to Orangenburg and to a place called Sachsenhausen. I think I don't know exactly where it is. I think it might be this place here. It's a concentration camp, but it's a really it is this place here. It's a really somber experience, and if you happen to be in Berlin, this, just like any other, is really important to go to, and history and stuff. And yeah, I mean, when we were there, we got the train. It was like an hour and a half going up to this place, and it was just a really like different day out. So, if you're ever in Germany, like these places are sort of scattered around most of the cities, so it's always worth going to. Next up on my list, I think, would have to be Košice, or maybe Bratislava, or just somewhere in Slovakia. I was meant to go to Košice in October. Again, it was cancelled because of coronavirus. And it just looked really nice. I mean, if I clicked on this image, I don't know what's going to come up. Just random stuff, but I mean, if you look on it on a map, you've got like the city centre, and then all around it's just surrounded by like forests and just natural stuff. What's this place? Saka. Just a field. I don't know, when I looked at some of the images of Košice, it just looked like a really nice place, and again, it's just somewhere I would like to go because, I had it booked and I was sort of planning to go, and then, again, it sort of wasn't allowed to go. Bratislava as well is the capital of Slovakia. It would just be cool to go there because I like going to the capital cities of places to see how they run compared to London, and then also compared to other places of that country if I've also visited other places of that particular country. For example, I would like to go back to the Netherlands. I have driven through the Netherlands before, actually. I've driven from roughly over here, the Hoek of Holland, and then I've driven through, I think, Rotterdam or The Hague, I'm not sure how it's said. From there all the way up to Amsterdam, essentially. So I'm pretty sure the route I must have taken is like roughly either this road here going to Amsterdam. Yeah, I think it was the A4 going to Amsterdam, but regardless, very clean country, nice people. Even within Amsterdam, I just like the atmosphere, and I would like to go to other places in the Netherlands to see how it differs from Amsterdam itself, because Amsterdam's very touristy, and obviously as such, there's like a lot of things geared towards tourists. Um, I would like to have a proper visit in Rotterdam or Utrecht or anywhere else. I don't really know anywhere else within this place. Groningen, just somewhere that's maybe cheap to fly to for the day. Eindhoven's another one that I've seen. So somewhere within the Netherlands, nowhere particular. Just to see how it differs from Amsterdam itself. Another place I would like to go to would be Portugal. So I actually had Portugal booked to go last February. It wasn't coronavirus that cancelled it. It was actually my own self. I cancelled it myself due to something else being booked. That a friend bought me. I didn't want to let him down, so I was meant to go to Lisbon, but I didn't. So Lisbon, it doesn't highlight where Lisbon is, but I'm imagining it's roughly around this ring road here. I don't know much about it. I don't really know much about much of Portugal. It's just a place I'd like to go. Spain, I've been to Alicante, Madrid, and Barcelona, Palma de Mallorca. So I've been mostly there, and then I've also been to the islands down here, to Tenerife. It always just feels like this little area. When I zoom out, I've been to a lot of this side of Europe. I haven't really done much Croatia and Romania down this side. I just haven't done apart from Cyprus. So I feel a lot of West Europe ticked off, as you will. But then Portugal is just this one little country on the side that I've never been to. So it'd be nice just to go there and basically say that I've been there, and also just see what Portugal is actually like. It's going to be nice and sunny for most year round. I'd be pretty unlucky to go there on a rainy day, I'm sure. Similar to Spain, it's just a nice climate, and I would like to see how it differs and how it's similar to Spain and also the Spanish language as well. And while we're over here in this side of Europe, I would like to just say that last year I was able to go to Alicante and Madrid. I would love to just go back to Spain and just experience all the other cities. I don't think there's a city that I wouldn't necessarily travel to. Murcia, Malaga, Seville, Gibraltar, A Coruña, Bilbao, all these places I would like to go to. But I would like to do Spain realistically at some point when I had enough money to actually go to Spain and do a proper road trip. So spend a few months in Spain and just road tripping around, seeing not only the big cities but also seeing all the smaller towns and things as well. Really just travel around this one country here and just experience. I really thought I was going to highlight red, but apparently not. And just experience Spain and the Spanish culture and how it differs from west to east and north to south, because there are difference in language, difference in the Spanish language in Murcia, called Valencian Spanish, as opposed to up here in Bilbao where they speak Galician, I think it is. So there's actually more than just Spanish spoken in this landmass, and I would just love to travel around and experience it. I guess while I do that, I mean, that might not be something I could do in 2021, say, but while I do that, I mean, I could also tick off Portugal if I wanted to add on another few weeks or a month or something. But that's some sort of big project that I would like to do at some point in the future. Maybe I won't be able to do it this year. It depends on how things go, obviously. And obviously, this little country over here, Andorra la Vella. Well, that's the capital of Andorra. I'm just interested to see what Andorra is like. It's not a very big place, but I'd be interested to see what it's like. So again, while if I ever got around to doing a Spanish road trip, I would love to road trip the entire of Spain, do Portugal, do Andorra, and then I would love to just do all these islands. I don't know about all of them. I'm sure there's quite a lot of different islands, but Spain's just an interesting place. And while I'm doing Spain, I would also like to do Ceuta and Melilla. I don't know how to say that. But basically, these are as you can see, they're part of Spain. Just because Spain has some weird exclaves over here in Morocco. So, Iceland would be another place I'd love to go. I know I'm probably just ticking off a lot of places, but these are all places that I've genuinely thought about and just would like to go. Very quickly, Iceland, just because Reykjavik, or well, Reykjavik is the capital, sorry, but Iceland in general is just a really nice, beautiful place. All the pictures I've seen of it. I mean, look at this one here. Just nature upon nature. This looks really awesome. I have no idea what that is. You know, it's all just nature. It's all waterfalls. Like there's this very iconic church there. Glaciers. You know, more waterfalls. Hot springs. I think this must be. And just mountains upon mountains. I think it's just a very beautiful country, very pure country. And it's somewhere that I would just like to go and experience. I think it'd be an awesome place to fly a drone around because you just don't really have that many people around. And it would just capture a really nice landscape. And this is just what I picture every time I see or think about Iceland. It's just like hot springs, mountains, glaciers, you know, anything to do with nature. And when it comes to like, you know, comes to all that. So yeah, Iceland I would love to go to as well. A bit more expensive normally to fly to than all the other places so far that I've mentioned, but it's still a place that I would love to go to. A place I wanted to go to this year, but really I can just go whenever. It's not really any rush for me to go, but I would love to go to would be here in the Ukraine, and actually would be over in where is it? Chernobyl, wherever Chernobyl is. Obviously, for the fact of doing the tour of the Chernobyl grounds of where the nuclear reactor melted down, etc. Where is it? I know it's up the north somewhere. Chernobyl. Or Pripyat. Yeah, Pripyat is over here. So, Pripyat and then Chernobyl is over here. So, basically, nuclear reactor melted down, etc. And you can see from this picture here, it's abandoned. And this is a very, very typical image that most people's probably seen of this area, just like, because it's been abandoned, like a lot of things just look really worn down, and it's always been a place I wanted to go ever since playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare from back in like 2007. You know, look at this. It's just for someone who likes to explore, like this is like almost like a gold mine, and you know, I've just always wanted to go here, and I looked at prices for going 2020, and you know, this was before like coronavirus, etc. And you know, it can be a little bit pricey, a few £100 if you get like a solo tour guide or whatever, which is what I would like to do. Yeah, look at this here, just like little fox just chilling right next to the Ferris wheel. So yeah, I mean, it would be something that you'd have to have a little bit of money to go to, you know, book the tour guide and then obviously get the trip to go over there. It would just be somewhere I would love to go and like document like firsthand. I've seen other YouTubers go here, quite a few other YouTubers going here actually. So I know it's something that like people have documented on the channel already, on like YouTube and on different YouTube channels and stuff. But it's just somewhere I would like to go to experience firsthand, see the devastation caused, and yeah, it's just, I think somewhere that I would really love to go. What's this? Is that a bridge? Oh no, that's the top of a roof. Yeah, because I don't know, it's just somewhere I'd like really like to go. So Pripyat / Chernobyl, I'm pretty sure, if we go back, I'm pretty sure Chernobyl is the same situation. Yeah, so I don't know actually at this point, you know, whether, I'm guessing this whole area is deserted. I'm not sure. I mean, this is why I need to go, so I can actually figure out, because with the radiation being so intense, I'm sure it wouldn't surprise me this whole entire area was affected. And then and yeah, essentially I would love to go to Ukraine and go to these two places in particular, and then while I'm in the Ukraine could tick off Kiev or Lviv. These are the two places, or maybe Odessa. Odessa's a bit further away, so maybe not, but Odessa's also another place that would be cool to go to. I think one last place in Europe that I would really like to go to in 2021, if I had the chance, would be over here in Greece, in Athens. Just for the history part of it, like Athens, it has a lot of like mausoleums, I think they're called. These like structures here. I don't know what it is, like it wasn't really something on top of my list, and then all of a sudden, like, I just woke up one day and was like, alright, I would really love to go to see this firsthand. Like, it's ruins, basically, of like really old buildings and stuff, but there's something about it that really just piqued my interest, and I would just really love to go to Greece, in particular Athens, just to experience like all of this that you're seeing in the pictures, up on top of this hillside here, and yeah, I mean I don't really know what else there is to say about this, because it is all just historical monuments, but I would just love to go to Greece for this reason, and Athens in particular. And I was almost going to book Athens, and then again, Greece became unable to be travelled to from the UK during Corona time. So you can see how coronavirus has really like messed up a lot of my plans I could have done this year. Sorry, when I say this year, I actually mean 2020. It's always a weird time when a year changes, trying to change your speech. But yeah, overall, just like I just love like this sort of old style construction buildings, and when you just look at something and you think it's been there for like so many years, it's just incredible to see firsthand. And yeah, see a cat with the I want to know what these places are called, because Acropolis, that's the one, not mausoleum, whatever I said. You got the Acropolis of Athens, and then the Temple of Hephaestus, and the Temple of Olympian Zeus, and then some more temples in Athens Concert Hall, and there's all these cool places that to be honest, like this place and the Acropolis and this temple here, like they're all very close together, and I don't exactly know how many different temples and stuff they have there. Maybe it's just these 3 or 4, and maybe they've got like a load of them dotted about like everywhere in the city. Again, it's something I would like to explore when I go to Athens one day, hopefully this year. So yeah, I think in terms of Europe, even though I'd love to eventually tick off every single European country, and also by default almost every single European capital, these are the places I really would like to go, but almost in the immediate future. But I would also love to go to all these other places at some point in maybe 2022 or afterwards. Istanbul is probably the next place I would just like to go, just to say really that I've walked between Europe and Asia. Because if you don't know, there's this bridge here that if you wanted to, I'm pretty sure the bridge is pretty big, but if you wanted to, just going to check we're recording. Yes, we are. If you wanted to, you can walk from Europe, which is over this side, over here to Asia. So if I'm not actually sure if it would tell you, but believe me, no, it doesn't say. I thought maybe the address would say like Europe and then over here is Asia. But yeah, you got the border there on the dotted line, and I would just love to do that. I'm not sure if it'll say. Yeah, there we go. So suspension bridge from Europe to Asia. So standing there on around this part of the bridge, you'll be on the border. As you can see there, the bridge looks pretty big. I'm pretty sure you can walk across it on here. I would just really love to be able to say that I've walked to Asia from Europe. Just a little like, did you know sort of thing. But if you can't walk it for any reason, or if you just get there and you feel like the bridge is too big, you can also get a boat from somewhere to somewhere. Maybe from this place, and then boats go around in this really messy line down here to Harem. But other than that, I would like to go to Istanbul. That would be my main reason at the moment, because I don't know what else there is to do in Istanbul, to be honest. Really, it's not going to highlight. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, because you've got like just a little split there. So Istanbul actually splits off, and it like Istanbul, and then not Istanbul in the middle there. It's actually probably this place or whatever. And then yeah, you've got like the same thing again over here. Technically the water splits off, but then they're connected by bridges, etc. Yeah, I mean that's the main reason I would like to go. And then at this current moment, I've never been to Asia either. So I mean, if I went, it would then also be another thing of like ticking off Asia on my list. That is to say that you don't count Cyprus as Asia. Some places count it as Asia, some places count it as Europe. Doesn't actually say anywhere because it's a bit like, you know, confusing. Cyprus is a weird one. You know, it's divided in like 4 different places. You know, England's the Republic of Cyprus, Northern Cyprus, and then like sort of an unmilitarized zone or whatever in the middle. Yeah, I mean that would be basically, so that's all the European places I'd like to go. Istanbul would then be the place I'd like to go, but it's not like high priority on my list. Where else would I like to go? Gee, so there's actually so many places I'd love to go, and just working our way across. I couldn't tell you why, but I would love to go to Tbilisi. Tbilisi, maybe? Georgia is always a country that's interested me. Tbilisi just looks like this interesting mix of like, you know, sort of ancient culture and like, I don't even know what else. There's just something to it. The construction style of the buildings just look very fascinating, and I've never really done much research into the city itself, so I couldn't tell you what's there. But Georgia just interests me. Obviously, Tbilisi is the capital, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of churches apparently. Like I said, I don't know much about it, but it just looks nice. And I spoke to a few people from Georgia. They weren't from Tbilisi actually. They were from another place that I would like to go to if I ever went to Georgia, which is over here called Batumi. And let's just have a look at the pictures in Batumi. You know, you got some dolphins. It looks like it's at a park or something. Yeah, it just looks beautiful again. And I think Georgia is a very underrated country for this reason. Very slowly, Croatia is becoming like this place where everyone's like, "Oh, Croatia, you really got to go there. It's a really beautiful country," which it is. And for the longest time, I think Croatia was like really under. What's the word? Like it wasn't appreciated, and people didn't really hype about it that much. But now, like people are starting to like travel to Croatia a lot more, giving the country a lot more like money. So their GDP, I would imagine, would be going up slightly. But Georgia is like another place I think where people are underestimating. I mean, look how built up this city is. It's not even the capital city. It's Batumi, probably the second or third biggest city in Georgia, if I had to guess. It just looks really interesting. There's this statue here, which I don't know what it's about. Nice little water park. You know, cool little features. Whatever this is, the Gonio Apsaros Fortress. Yeah, there's some cool stuff. I've actually seen some other pictures of Batumi, which I can't find here. Essentially, like looking very similar to Croatia, where it's like sun, sea, sand. Here's another one of the water park, like sun, sea, sand, and just like, you know, what you might not expect from a place like Georgia, because I think a lot of people think of Georgia and this area of the world like Georgia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkey. These 4 countries, I think they're always thinking of like wars between the 4 countries really, and I think there is to some degree like that sort of thing going on. But Georgia is still a place that's like interesting. And as you can see here as well, another interesting thing is like Georgia has 2 regions that are like separated. So this region here and then this region over there. I think one of them is called Abkhazia. I can't remember what the other one's called off the top of my head. Or Ossetia and Abkhazia or something like that. They're really like, you know, convoluted words for an English person to remember, especially when they're not like full-fledged countries. They're just people within the circle recognize themselves, and then the only other place that recognizes them as independent countries, I think, is like Azerbaijan. But otherwise, yeah, they're just like not quite independent countries, but you know, they're still part of Georgia. Weird and interesting stuff. But yeah, I would like to go to Georgia at some point, hopefully 2021. But as we go east into the world, it means that like more money has to be spent to fly there typically, and it means that you know, more time has to be taken off of work to go to these places. The stands I would like to go to, but it's not like an immediate thing. It's more like when, you know, in the future, I would love to go to them someday, because I think in their own right, they're all interesting. You know, Kyrgyzstan, for example, interesting. You know, they all have their own interesting... Which one is it? Turkmenistan? I'm trying to think. Ashgabat. If you look at... Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, I mean, is this what you expect from... from a city in Turkmenistan. Like, it looks pretty. Alright, there's not that many pictures of it, but there are some pictures somewhere of like really cool, big, interesting, unique buildings. Yeah, basically on the face it looks really grand, but actually the city is quite deserted. It's an interesting story of basically how the government has screwed over the country in that one city. Anyway, not somewhere that I would like to go immediately, but one day. China, again, would love to visit, but I couldn't see myself going there in the immediate future. Maybe main place I'd like to go would be Beijing, Hong Kong, Taiwan, maybe to Shenzhen, which is where's Hong Kong? Down here, Guangzhou area, Macau. Like these are just some of the places I've heard of, to be honest, and yeah, and because of which I would like to go to China. But at the same time, China's like so built up. Like you go to any city, so as like a mad example, let's go to Beijing, and you zoom in, and then you just see like how built up a city like Beijing actually is, and then you zoom in, you got more grid systems, and it's just insane in my opinion how built up Beijing actually is. There's just a lot of stuff happening, but then when you've got like a how many is it, 1.5 billion people like just building all the time, like is there any surprise that China's so built up? Like look at all these districts around which are all part of Beijing. There we go. Beijing is huge. I can't remember what is it this place? There's one place, I'm sort of getting side tangent a bit. Yeah, so look how huge this city is. It's got like nobody really living there. Just a bunch of roads, but it's just like this place, but for whatever reason, it's like one of the biggest cities in the world. And look at it, or maybe even the biggest. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, like look how big that city is. Try and compare it to like North Korea as like an entire country. It is pretty big. Anyway, for this year, so I've been trying to save up money to do like this travel excursion or whatever you like to call it, gap year or whatever. So I can actually do like a gap year, maybe not an entire year because you'd have to save a lot of money for that, but a gap 6 months or something. And I would really love to do your typical Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand type of trip, but like really explore these places. So I think typically people would go to like Hanoi and they'll get like a moped and they'll moped from like north to south or south to north. I would love to go to Hanoi and then just sort of work my way down Vietnam, and then in my head, as long as I was able to like save enough money, I would love to tick off Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, maybe Myanmar if I had the chance, but like, then like where do I go and how far deep in Myanmar do I go before I come back? But yeah, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, and then depending on like money and stuff, like I could then come down Thailand, visit Malaysia, and then see this part of Malaysia, not necessarily over here, but this side of Malaysia, and just see like what's up in Malaysia. Essentially, go to Kuala Lumpur, which on the map looks like the only place that's really anyone lives, apart from like these few random places up here. And then hop over to Singapore, which is this really nice tiny country here, but the country is doing really well for itself. And if you look at the images, like Singapore just looks amazing. Like look at this building that's really blurry. Looks like a big boat on top of 3 buildings. Like mad. The I can't remember what it's called. Like the gardens somewhere in Singapore. Here's that same picture again. Looks like they're having a great time up there, like a little party or something. Like they got trees up on top of this big boat looking bit. It's just an insane place, really. And also their airport has been voted like #1 airport every year for like 8 years or something. So yeah, Singapore is the place I would really like to go, and I would genuinely go out of my way to go inside the airport just to actually experience it, even though I wouldn't be flying in or out of Singapore particularly. Or maybe I will, because depending on how much money I have, I would then like to go from Singapore somehow over to somewhere in Indonesia. So if we click Indonesia, we can see the extent of where Indonesia is by highlighted red. It goes all the way from next to Singapore all the way over here, borders Papua New Guinea, and all these islands over here also borders Malaysia, and it's a really weird situation. So depending on if I want to go to Batam, for example, just an island there in Indonesia, now I could just get a boat. But if I wanted to go to like over here in Bali, then I would probably want to fly. So I haven't really thought about that like 100% in terms of where I'd like to go, because I like to make things sort of slightly, off the whim, and just sort of make your decision there and then, and just go with it. But I think that would be quite a cool little trip to go Vietnam, experience that. Apparently it's not highlighting Vietnam. Some countries it highlights and some countries it don't, but just look at this. Look at Vietnam, and like, just, to me that looks really nice and really tropical, and just there's a lot to experience in a country like Vietnam with its history and everything else that it's got. I'm sure there's so much to see. So Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. Cambodia has a few weird border exceptions here. Is that a river? I don't really know. Laos. See, I don't know much about Laos, so I'm not sure exactly where I'd like to visit there, but maybe Vientiane, which is their capital city. And I probably didn't say it right, but like, maybe if I'm visiting Thailand, if I'm up in Udon Thani, then I can just say, oh yeah, let's just hop to Vientiane. I don't know. But yeah, these countries, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, like they're the, how many is that? 4, 5, 6. They're like the 7 countries I would like to, sort of tick off in one go. Do like some big trip going there. But that's if I had like the money to do it. If I didn't have enough money, I would simply have to tick off, or simply have to cross off Indonesia and Singapore, see how things go. But the reason I would like to come to this side of the world, not only do I genuinely want to come and explore these places, because it's like a complete flip side of like culture and everything to like the Western world, but also because it's just, I've never been to these places before, never even been to Asia, so it's like a really interesting experience to go to these places, or it will be an interesting experience when I get the chance to go there. And if money was no issue, sure, I would love to carry on and, not only do Indonesia as like the last step, but then, go do Philippines, where it's got, another country of all like so many different islands. Look how many islands are in the Philippines. I think they have like 7,000 islands, give or take. There's a lot of places to see. And, screw it, while we're there, let's go to Papua New Guinea and just like, explore all of the 1,000 tribes that they have there. South Korea is another place I'd really love to go, and in its own right, I'd love to go North Korea as well, and Japan, and but obviously money is an issue. Well, one other really nice place I'd love to go, I know I'm not going to be able to go because it's just super expensive to go there like every time, but Maldives. Just that picture alone up here will tell you why. Look, just beautiful blue upon beautiful blue. I think Maldives is one of the most beautiful places that I've seen on pictures. But the thing is, I would love to go to Maldives as soon as I can, really, because eventually it's going to be like all underwater due to global warming. But if you zoom into Maldives, you can see just like this atoll right here. It's just like a few lands across, and then it's just been, the rest of it's just like underwater. This small little place, and got all these little islands over here. It's just like a country with like thousands of different islands. Look at all these places, and this is all part of the Maldives. I couldn't even tell you, actually. I'm not sure what the capital city is or where it is. There's so many different places just to visit, but I mean, if you were to go here, not only would it be really expensive to visit, but then it'd be really expensive to then get place to place because of you know, getting around on boat. I'm not sure what country does this belong to. India. You know, again, if money was no issue, yeah, sure, hop over to Japan, go to Australia, etc. But I mean, that would be the maximum extent of the trip. But the whole thing I would love to do just in these 7 countries, just to go around and explore and obviously vlog my adventure, would be the fact that I would be able to do daily content, daily vlogging for like a good 6 months straight, and just see how that takes the channel, like which direction the channel goes, whether it's still going to be in this plateau of like 1,600 subscribers, or whether views, watch time, subscribers all just skyrocket because I'm actually doing content every day, and content in somewhere completely different, like not different in the way that like no one ever has done this, because it's quite a popular thing on YouTube for people to go to these places. The only reason that like I say I want to go here because, one, I do want to go here, and two, it's cheap. These places are cheap to make. You basically, the money that you do save up, it will last a long time. So similar to how I was saying earlier with Spain, I would like to drive around Spain and stuff. Like I want to do a similar thing with these countries. Not sure if I would drive around or if I'd try and get like public transport. I'm not sure yet. But these places, look at this. I had no idea that Dragon Bridge existed, but apparently Dragon Bridge exists, and that just looks really cool. I just clicked on a random city, which is Da Nang, sorry, and yeah, it just here's Dragon Bridge from another perspective, or is that a different bridge? Da Nang Museum, I don't know. I think that's really cool. Like just shape it around a dragon. This looks like a boat, or maybe it's just a normal bridge actually. Yeah, I think Asian culture is really awesome, and yeah, it'd be something I just really want to do, and that's why I'm saving up money at the moment to try and do this like quite a big trip. Honestly, it would mean me having to save up obviously enough money to go to these places, travel in between each place, having enough money to pay for like my car while I'm away, because I'll still need to pay like my car because it's on finance every month while I'm away. It would mean me having to save up money for like other things as well, really budget for like food and hotels and that type of thing. Which again, when you're on the budget, these places, maybe with the exception of Singapore, these places are super cheap and just easy to travel between. Which is why it's like, out of the entire world, it's probably my number one destination in terms of like being able to just country hop, doing solo travel. It's just somewhere I'd really like to go. So I think that really ticks off most places I would like to go, at least for the immediate year. Russia, I would love to go, but it's apparently quite difficult to get a visa, and I don't know if I can see myself going this year because, for those reasons. Nothing to do with like being scared or whatever, because World War III or Russians are like hardcore, whatever. But just it's expensive. You have to wait a long time for your visa to come, and it can take months sometimes. And there's all these other places I can get to quite easily without having to worry about. But Russia, definitely one day. Didn't even go over to this side of the world, honestly. I really don't know whether the US is going to open their borders to the UK. Like, it's been closed for like a year now. With certain exceptions, of course. But a flight from the UK over to America normally costs a few hundred. It's possible I might decide to go somewhere in the US, but I'm not sure where. Unlike Europe, I can go to Europe for like a day or two. US, when you go, because you're going from the UK to US, it's such a far distance. You want to go for like a week or two at minimum. Which is sort of why I've excluded this side of the world. Would love to like travel South America and America. So with South America, one, because it's far away. I could do the same thing here. What I'm thinking about doing with Asia. Apparently, it's quite similar with pricing and stuff. To be honest, I would like to do South America when my level of Spanish gets a lot better. When I can actually get around speaking Spanish, that would be like my goal. each country that speaks Spanish, so like Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, they all speak different dialects of Spanish, which makes it almost like its own language to learn. Um, Peruvian as well, or Peruvian Spanish, Bolivian Spanish, Chilean Spanish. They're all different, and I'm just trying to learn normal Spanish right now. But yeah, one day South America, but not for another year or two minimum. Maybe even more than that. Who knows? Because to be honest, I've had this Southeast Asia trip in my mind for a long time now. It's just I've never been able to actually do it. North Korea, as edgy as it might be, or as controversial as it might be, it's always piqued my interest. You can get group tours into Pyongyang and surrounding areas, and you can go to like China somewhere. I don't exactly know where. One of these places somewhere, and then you can get the train or fly into Pyongyang. How cool would that be to fly into Pyongyang or get the train into Pyongyang and then just spend a week there or something? I've seen a lot of videos on it, and I genuinely have been wanting to go for like 6-7 years now. So one day maybe I'll get the chance to go here and just experience for myself one of the least travelled 2 countries in the world. But not this year, probably not even next year. Like that would be, it costs a few £1,000s minimum to even go to a place like North Korea due to different entry requirements and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just somewhere that I'm just super interested to go to learn about their culture and learn about what there is to do in North Korea. Anyway, that's probably the end of this video. Essentially just highlighted a bunch of places I'd love to go to, and most of them hopefully I can go to this year. I've probably highlighted all the places in Europe. I mean, I'd love to do Switzerland and Estonia, Finland, all of these Baltic countries down here. Not Baltic. What are these places called? They're not Baltics are up there. Yeah, Baltic Sea. I can't remember. The Balkans. Very similar word. Yeah, I'd love to do the Balkan countries down here as well. It's just, that was a few countries I'd like to highlight. Obviously, I could sit here all day and say I'd want to go to every single country, but, there were just a few. And apologies to Africa for not even being mentioned in this video, apart from the Spanish areas in Morocco. Again, just far away travel. One day would like to tick off some African countries, just not in my interest for now. I'd love to first of all break out and go to Asia and then experience from there. But all of these places, or at least the majority of these places, I will be vlogging. But remember that it's really dependent on how 2021 is going to go. Maybe coronavirus will be gone by tomorrow, and then this will be achievable, or at least most of it will be achievable due to money. There's some restrictions. Or maybe travelling restrictions are going to be in place for like another 5 years, and we just can't do anything. And here I am 5 years later, still talking about places I'd love to go. That I still haven't been to Estonia because coronavirus. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I know it's been a bit of a long one, but yeah, I just wanted to do like an interesting, different video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you have enjoyed, please comment, rate, subscribe. And yeah, as always, I'll catch all you guys in the next one. Till then, peace out.